everyone. Hi, it's Rose. Hey, it's April. Wow. April 2025. Wow. I'm here today to show you a little bit about the process I'm making on the 1789 Versailles kit. I decided to go ahead and do a journal and use that opportunity to show you a little bit about my decision making as far as creating a whole collection and how I pick my signature pages. I have a formula. I'm going to have that formula linked for you in the box below in case you're a beginner and you want kind of just an idea of, if you feel overwhelmed. I'm hearing a lot that people are feeling overwhelmed with having too much, and I just want to share with you a little bit of my decision-making process so that helps you in yours. If you're new, welcome. So glad you're here. Thank you so much. I hope you'll find something fun and interesting here. And if you do, subscribe. And if you're a longtime supporter, thank you so much for coming back. And I hope that all of you will feel comfortable leaving me a comment. I'd love to hear what you'd like to have different or better, or what you liked. And okay, so no further ado, I'm going to get started. Basically, my formula begins with choosing the number of signatures that I want and or the number of pages. So I often do 24 pages, and I've done that in 4 signatures. I really enjoy doing the 4 signatures, but I need to be able to have enough pages to show you the different things to do. So I'm going to do 8 pages in each one and 3 signatures. So 24 pages is going to be divided into 3 signatures. And I basically do a lot of the same thing in each signature. I just vary it. And if I'm feeling super creative, I just don't care. I just do what I like and do what I want. But if I'm wanting to get something done fairly fast and not go through a lot of the decision-making process, this is what I do. And this is how my thought process goes when I'm creating a collection, just FYI. And I'll bear with me as I'll explain as we go on. So 8 pages, and that's double-sided, right, in each signature. I'm going to tell you what I printed up of the 1789 Versailles Romance collection. First of all, what I start with is each signature needs a center page that goes in the inside, right, of where the you either put your 3-hole stitching, but it's the center point. So I need 3 of those. I'm most in love with the Royal Memories. It's my favorite paper of the collection. I picked that. So these are the ones that I picked. These are ones, this is an opportunity if you have a page that really speaks to you and you love, use that. This, as your selection process goes, think about what you were most drawn to in the beginning and just pick those 3. And keep in mind that the orientation, if you have any pages that have something in the center that wouldn't look good if it was folded either way, this is the opportunity to pick one of those for those pages. So I printed up 3 of those, and then on the back side from that same kit, because I adore that kit actually. I love these frames. Look, it's so beautiful. I really love the art from this era, and so I chose to print pages on the back of those 3 from the same kit. It's the only pages that I printed something up from the same kit on the back. Okay, so those are my center focal point pages of my signature and of my journal. I probably will not put much to cover this up in the center page. Next, so the next thing I wanted to choose is, I like people. A lot of people don't. So this doesn't mean when I'm choosing a person, I'm going to tell you that I picked 3 pages per signature. So 3 pages for each signature that have a focal point on one side or the other. And they could have a focal point on both sides, but what I wanted was, if I have something that has 2 sides of the focal points, I'll pick less pages that have focal points, probably more like 1 or 2 and not 3 for each one. So I picked the faces that I liked the most, the ones I was drawn to. These are from the Regent's kit. But because the feedback I'm getting is that not everybody likes people, I wanted to make sure that there are other elements that you'll be able to use that are not people in your journal. So I picked my focal points of the 3. 2 of them happen to be people. And then I made some that were more location based that you could use as a focal point. And these ones, I printed up 1 of each of those. The first signature will have this one that kind of, to me, was like, the front was, this is where we are, and this is on the back, will be on the back, right in the end of the signature. So it kind of looked like a closing page. So printed up that one and this one and this one. They all work well just having, right, the half the page like that. These are from the Junk Journal Kit paper, these here. Okay. So that makes up my 3 focal points of pages. I don't really want more than that, and I probably, like I said, if I had pages that had a focal point on each side, I probably would only pick 2 pages like that. Otherwise, I don't have enough room to add other things into my journal. So the next thing I did, these are from the Junk Journal Kit pages, and I'm looking at this here. I would like at least 2 pages per signature that could be for writing. So if I just left it blank, that it's just a blank writing spot. We'll put other writing spots in the journal, but having some blank pages for writing is important to me. So these are the ones that I picked. These are from that the Junk Journal Kit paper. You'll see that most of these, you know, it has a nice edge, but not a lot in the page. This one is borderline, but I loved the bird so much I had to just pick the bird. So, okay, so I picked 2 pages that were writing pages. And then the next 2 that I wanted were 2 pages that are like blank texture, that if I didn't put anything on them, it would match the kit. It would look nice, but would be okay if I covered it up. Like, it's not image specific on if I covered the whole page or a good part of the page. So I'm using them more like as a background page. This here is the Tattered Elegance. These pages are grungy and they are kind of messy, and they are a favorite of mine. There's a whole series of them in almost every color. Last month I gave away the yellow ones, the yellow lemon. This is in the French blue. These are also, right now, these are a freebie, a Freya Friday freebie on the coffee site. So if you like the look of those, these would almost be just fine to do every single page of your signature in these papers. You do not need to buy the Junk Journal Kit in order to create a journal. You could create a journal just using this paper, and then the other one, the unwritten, which is another page I'll show you in a minute. It's a freebie also. And then I picked this one here, which is from, it's called Vintage Memories, and I printed 3 of those. Okay. So when I got down to printing my pages, of course, right, they're going to be double-sided. So that was the one side that I paid attention first, was the defining side. The next side, the back side, what was important to me there is, and I'll just show you here. So this kind of summarizes things. I've got 3 signatures, 8 pages each. Each signature has a focal point, center page, 3 pages with a side focal point. You could or do 2. 2 for writing, 2 for blank texture, and what equals a total of 8 pages, okay? I'm going to be printing 21 of them double-sided, and I'm going to leave 3 of them single-sided. And that's because of the type of binding I'm choosing for this signature. You may print all of yours double-sided depending on the type of binding you choose. So I picked these 3 here as the ones that would be like the inner page. You'll see when we put the signature together, but the ones that are only printed on one side. This is the most outer page of my journal, is the one that you're going to leave blank or choose to leave blank of each signature. So this is inside. I'll just fold this right now. Except I don't have my bone folder over here. Okay. But you get the idea. The inside of this, the one that is blank, goes your whole signature. Okay, so choose wisely which one you leave blank. Oops. Okay, now choosing the backgrounds for the other side of your pages. Let's just say this. The next choice I have to make is what background paper am I going to use? I'm going to pick a background that is going to be fine for me to cover up no matter what I do. And sort of similar here, there isn't a texture. It could be. These could be great background pages. But because I wanted to add a little more variety, I chose to use Unwritten, which is another freebie. I just wanted to show you that. This is what Unwritten looks like. All of the pages are different. They have script and floral on it. It's a freebie. And so you can see that you could make a really nice journal just from these pages and collect all of the freebies that are coming this month. I've got a list of those. They'll be in the description box below. There'll be a sovereign freebie from me, one from Cheryl, one from let's see, Kim. Kim is doing this too. One from Kim, one from Cheryl, one from me. And Lady Owl is going to work on this kit too, but she's going to start probably later in the month, which is nice because aren't we all intimidated about what Lady Owl does? She's so amazing. Okay. I printed Unwritten. The one that is a background page. I printed it on 12 of the pages so that 2 of the background pages, 2 of the pages of the signature would have this. Okay, and I actually chose, you can see that I chose the focal point pages. To do that with. Okay. And then the next thing that you're going to do is choose 3 patterns. I did. You do not have to, but this is just my thinking because in my ephemera, I'm going to use a lot of blank patterned paper. I picked 3 patterns, my favorite patterns in the pattern pack. I picked this one and this one and this one. okay? And I'm not going to use any other pattern paper on this, in this journal. So when I print up my pages for my ephemera and my junk journal kit, I am going to be using probably a pattern paper on the back of the ones that are double-sided. And the reason for that, the pattern paper comes in two orientations. It'll come in a horizontal or it'll come in a vertical. So it's one of the things I suggest if you're looking to buy one of the add-ons. Catch it on sale. It's probably the thing that'll boost your power as far as like creating things, because you can add, you know, the junk journal kit comes with fussy cuts and other things you can create endlessly from the pattern paper. So the pattern paper, like I said, it comes, this is printed horizontally, but it also comes where you can do it vertically. These are 12 by 12 papers and will print on the US letter or on the A4 size. Okay, so I picked 3, and what I did was print 3 of each of them on, let's see, yeah, I picked so that each, what I wanted is a piece of pattern paper for each one of my signatures. So let's see, 1, 2, let's see if I did that right. Oh, maybe I didn't. 1, 2. Yeah, I did, just 2 pattern pages. That's what I did for each signature. So that, is that right? Yeah. No, 3. Yeah, 3. But I think I made a mistake in my printing things up, because that goes. Yeah, I'll have to go back. I did make a mistake. This one, I need 3 of these. I just want to be able to have these elements repeated in each signature. That's part of my thinking. So, printed 2 of each pattern paper on the back side of the pages. And some of these, the ones that were the that were from the junk journal kit, these ones, I actually printed the same thing from the kit on the opposite side. I love those papers so much, so I actually doubled what my writing space was. But you can be really creative with which papers and which patterns you're choosing for your background or your background pages, because a lot of those will get covered up. Okay, so that's what I did as far as printing up for my signatures. So let's move on to actually putting the signatures together and how I go about doing that. So all I'm going to do is just split them into 3. So 1, 2, I'm going to have 3 piles, okay, and we're going to want to alternate what we put together. So all I'm going to do is choose some of the pages that have a pattern on it, and our writing pages. See, this one has got 1, 2, 3. All I'm going to do is choose those next. You place it in any order that you like. I'm just sharing with you what I'm choosing, okay? And then I've got my one page of the focal point, so I'll just divvy it up. And I probably want to put two of the men in the same one, so I'll make sure that I'm doing those in a different signature. Okay, and then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to pick again another one that has a different kind of background paper on it. Probably shall we say one of these? And I'll double check the orientation here in a minute. Okay. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm probably going to need another focal point. We maybe want a little more room between those. So let's do, how about we do this pattern paper. And then the last focal point of the double-sided ones. And then the location-specific ones. That mixed up somewhere. Okay. And this one should be of this pattern. And then basically this one, which is a blank one. So what I should end up with is a fairly nice variety here. And I'll kind of want to look and make sure that the ones that have the focal point kind of alternate here. So there's two on that side that are those focal points, and then I want it kind of balanced. There's one here, and even though they're kind of together, they're both there. I might look at that and decide that what I want to do is change out where this one is. Except for that puts those two together. Okay, it doesn't matter. Get it the way you like. That's one signature. Okay. And if any of this, speed it up if you don't care and you just want to put your signatures together the way you want. I thought it was really important to explain to you my formula for putting one together. That's about 20 minutes of that. I'm going to get off camera. I'm going to pause the camera at this point, and then I'm going to fold these pages and I'm going to get them ready to bind, and I will be back with you. So actually, no, sorry, just totally changed my mind. I think I'll do that in a different video. I think I'm going to leave the binding for the whole nother video. What I'm going to show you right now, just since we'll just deal with the printing portion of the kit, it'll get too confusing. Let me tell you what else I printed up, and then we'll call it good. I am going to be doing an envelope series. I got a stuffed envelope kit that's going to be matching this. This is going to come out. Doesn't even matter about the stuffed envelope kit, because what I've chosen to do is I'm going to do quite a few. I have quite a few envelope folds I'm going to show you. It'll be in the next video or two. So I went ahead and printed up patterned paper, and these are the patterns that I chose that's going to match my kit. And I actually used just regular copy paper, and I did that because it's easier to fold the envelopes like that than it is when I use the premium matte presentation paper. So I printed up a bunch of those pages because I'm going to be using those to fold to show you envelopes. That's totally an option, but I hope you print some up because I'd love you to follow along on the envelopes that I'm going to make, and then we're going to stuff them with some of the ephemera in one of the videos. Okay, next thing I did is I picked 3 pages that were full pages that I could make into a tip-in. So keeping in mind a tip-in, This is the Blue Rose paper. This is where it comes in that I use the other papers that match, mostly to create ephemera. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So this page, probably what it'll do is I'll cut it in half. There'll be a video for me to show you, but I'm just going to pay attention to a tip-in that would be 1 page, and something that if I didn't decorate it, I'd be okay, but if I didn't, no problem. So I did that, and on the back side of this, you're going to want to print up a pattern or something that's fairly neutral, because it'll flip either this way or this way. So I haven't done that yet on this paper. I need to do that. The next thing I would like to show you is, so this is the same paper pack, okay? My channel has a video on it that teaches you how to print with Adobe PDF. If your printer does not print, and you can choose the number of pages that you print per page, I promise you your printer is going to be one of the best things that you can get to know learning junk journaling. So this is 16 of those pages, and they're made up here. I did a 4x4. We'll be showing you how to make a ton of ephemera with a 4x4. You may notice that some of my videos have a lot of the pages, and the pages in the other kits will have things like a 4x4, a 3x3, a 2x2, a 1x2. Talking about, when I say that, I'm just talking about like this here. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why it's a 4x4. Tons of things that you can make with this. I printed one of those up and printed another one. This one here is another one of the papers, but you can see they match and they look really elegant and different in the journal that you create. You can use the same papers that you used as your background papers to print up the different ephemera. It's totally fine. I'll show you. I did that with let's see. Yeah, right here. So the Tattered Elegance, you could print every one of these. You could print a 3x3, you could print a 3x3, a 4x4, a 2x2. These ones that I'm showing you to follow along with the other ephemera with the free pages that you're given. This is the Tattered Elegance. You can see how it's a really beautiful background page in these individual sizes. So this is ATC size. This is a 3x3. I think I printed another page up with it. 3x3 size. And what I want to show you too is that on the back, I chose a pattern. These are vertically oriented, the patterns that are vertically oriented. I printed them up the way that I might be choosing to use these, and because I'm using these as ATC cards, on the back I used the vertical pattern. You don't have to pay attention to that part if you want, if you're not going to see the back of your card. And you can also pick one that doesn't really have an orientation on the back, the vertical orientation. So, okay. So then I also printed up on these. And a lot of these, you'll notice you can print. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I utilize this, I actually have a double-sided that's this size. This will make a ton of ephemera. This will make tags. This will make pockets. This will make file folders. Like I said, I'm going to show you this month how I'm going to use these, but this is when you print it double-sided. It's really nice because it gives you a double-sided ephemera, but this gives you, if you do 1 or 2 of the different papers that you choose, you get some repetition in your ephemera. These here, I did this with the other little people. You don't have to use people, but I did these. These are This is a 2x4, okay? This will make your, these are journal cards. This will make a waterfall card. This will also make a page with flips. So this is printing it up a 2x4. Okay, on the rule memories, I chose to do the rule memories as if they were bigger postcards or journal cards. Like I said, I really love that, and I will probably use these as a combination of something to tuck in somewhere, or I'm not sure, but I did make these double-sided too. I should mention I printed these double-sided also, so you can see I've chose a background. Okay, so it's really nice because then you have a pre-printed piece of ephemera that cuts quickly with your paper cutter in not fussy cutting. That's part of why I love getting to know my printer. Okay, so see that? Yeah, I put journal cards on there because they're single-sided, or double-sided, excuse me. So I did this too, these here. So anything that you're going to see both sides, you probably want to print double-sided. So this is a 2x2, and then I also, notice this, these here are going to be for pockets or for tags. Okay, so they're really nice if they're cut diagonally. You can cut them diagonally both this way and this way. I'll show you different ways to utilize this page or this paper this way. But that's how I've printed up and used the other paper kits that I include in the collection. The reason I do that is because you could vary this so many different ways and probably make this journal like 100 times and not make the same journal, and you know, pick a different background paper. I like to have things in my stash that I can use over and over again. And so if something in the kit really speaks to you, you know, remember that you could use the pattern paper in so many different ways, not just this kit. It's the same thing with, you know, when I'm gifting you the Tattered Elegance. This isn't kit specific. This is a stash builder in your army of like neutral things that you can use in this color. It's the same thing with the background pages of a lot of the kit, right? So the blue rose, these pages, they could be used for any journal. And that's why some of the papers, a lot of them are not specific to only being used in that particular journal. So thank you for joining me. So glad you're still here. If you're here, the next video, what I'm going to do is go ahead and show you how I bind the journal, and we'll see how far we get after that. Make sure you also join me. So I'm going to suggest to you that about the coffee membership really quick. I'm really hoping to get a few more members, even if it's at the smallest tier of $3.99. The Thankful Thursdays have moved over there, and we've opened up the Facebook group so that you can post any art that you make there. Any art, not just art that is Wild Rose Bohemian, but any art. And we've shifted the name. There's some information on that in the on the Facebook group, but we hope you join us there and show off what you're creating. That's a place where you can connect with other people, ask questions, share what you're making, see what other people are making, feel inspired. It's really a beautiful community, and I'm so grateful to have it, and I'm so grateful. It's really the home of our design team also, so it's kind of the hub. You'll see what they're making, and they're inspirational. They're really the key moving parts of that group and of what helps you to see how you can use the papers that you are working with. There's a lot there, so thank you so much for joining me, and I hope if you are going to follow along, you can either follow along with the freebies that come with this 1789 Versailles, or remember I'm also doing the Paris Blue, and those papers, all of these papers could be interchangeable if you're not period specific. So you could gather enough freebies to make several journals. So Hope to see you soon. Thank you. Bye.